Hey guys, how's it going? DUJ2 here, and welcome back. And I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to say hello, Lightkeeper. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing excellent. Great to be here.
For those of you who do not know who Lightkeeper is, well, I'm sorry for you. Lightkeeper is probably one of the smartest people who is currently playing this game. But you're playing the JP version, right?
I'm playing the JP version. I just happen to stare at these things quite a bit longer than is good for me, probably.
So did you start playing on the on global?
I did start playing on Global initially for a few weeks, and spent all my time farming Wakas, trying to get from 24% to 25, and part of me died inside trying to do that.
Did you try and run multiple wakas at first?
Oh, Quest 57.
Yeah, yeah.
The, those good old days.
Oh my goodness. So what? Okay, what made you change, and when did you change over to JP?
What made me change? I think it was because they had illustrated Kyrie, the initial banner that was there, and they were giving away 3,000 jewels at the time. So I thought, what the heck? I'm just going to reroll my account until I got one on the first pool. Did that about 4 times,
Wow.
and started JP with illustrated Kyrie.
So that was what, like 4 months ago, 5 months ago?
That is over 6 months, almost 7 months now.
Wow. That's it. I can't believe how fast time has flown by.
Yeah,
So
right?
the one thing, okay, so for me, I actually started playing the JP version when it first came out. I don't think I got in on the alpha, but I got in on the beta when it happened. And I remember my first 2 months. I remember just living on the Reddit posts on the Reddit channels because I didn't understand anything. Like it took me, I think it took me trial and error just to understand which button was confirm and which one was cancel. Um, but I never understood the JP version, and when I heard this one was coming out, I dropped the JP version like on the 5th or 6th month I played it. But for
Oh,
me, it was
JP
the
is rough in
language.
the beginning.
For me, it was the language version. It was a language problem. It was a
Yeah, the
language
language barrier
barrier.
is huge. If you can't get past that, then the game is so hard to play. You can't really enjoy it uh, as well if you don't understand what's going on.
Right. So, I mean, how do you get past that?
Luckily, I can read some Japanese enough to play the game,
Oh
so
wow.
uh, it uh, doesn't hinder me too much. But that's why I'm also doing my videos where I translate notices and just help people out
I saw
uh,
that.
so
I
they
saw
can
that. That's so
understand what's going
awesome.
on. Um, yeah, because not everyone understands, but it is we do have very powerful metals and
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
things over on the other side.
I think for me the other thing too is it's hard for me to get excited when I see a medal but I don't know what it says. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
right.
It's like the special or something, or even just all of it, or even when the voice art came out. When the medals with the voices came out, I was like, that sounds cool, but I don't know what they're saying.
Oh, yeah, we have some English players. Like we're always hanging out on Discord where as soon as they tweet out what the new banner premium is going to
Uh
be,
huh.
they're translating what we think it might be,
See, that
and
is
then when midnight
awesome.
hits, then we're translating like furiously what this does and finding out where that quote came from and which Kingdom Hearts game that was from and which scene.
That is awesome. Okay, so what I want to do with that, I'm gonna actually connect you with Duck McMuffin. She's actually she's the admin on my second Discord server, and she has her own server as well, but she runs the Japanese game for us in our streams.
Okay.
And I think if you talk with her, if you guys could like connect your discords, I think that would really help a lot of people because I know a lot of people don't get that. And am I correct? Your Discord is kind of private, right? It's like semi-private. It's
Yeah.
kind of by invitation. Yeah, Ducky has the same thing. Her Discord is private, so it's not an open one. You have to kind of you got to ask
People
to
get so
join.
excited about the game, things get rowdy,
Yeah.
and we don't like to actively mod
Right,
too
right. I
much.
got you. I totally got you. So I'm gonna connect you with Ducky later. Maybe you guys two can talk and you can do something because, like I said, I know that there's a very large community that is defecting to the Japanese version because they're kind of I don't know if you know, but just how much we don't have. You know what I mean?
I have been keeping a not very close eye, but I've been looking at the NA version and just waiting and waiting,
To
because
see
I do
when
have,
they give us stuff.
we are all the same community, but
Right. Well, and like we've been talking before, I mean, I wanted to talk with you right now because I did want to introduce everyone because I know a lot of people know you, but a lot of people don't. You know what I mean? And I wanted people to get to know you. I want people to know what you're about, and more importantly, a lot of people, especially in where we are right now, we need help. I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. We need help because we don't have Mickey and Brooms, you know? We don't
right.
have orb pulls, you know, for the legendary medals. We don't have or tier 4 medals, you know? We don't have so much in this game that at the point where we are right now, it it makes the game very frustrating sometimes. You know what I mean?
Although there are some things that we are jealous of the NA version
Oh,
for, believe it
the
or not.
nerfed versions of the medals.
We are jealous of, let's see, you guys are recently pulling only epics, only tier
Oh
3s.
yes.
So we are not. We're still pulling T2s over
Oh
here.
really?
Yes. So you guys have more gilted epics than than I have on my account.
That
I mean,
and
we're
with
using
for the
Mickey and Brooms and
yeah.
our legendaries, but
You know, I've been seeing that when I've been seeing people playing the JP version, and I'm like, wait, why do they have a Nova level like of 150, and they have better medals than I do? You know, but that makes sense, yeah, because they can't pull. I mean, they can't pull the medals they need to guilt.
right, we're still pulling tier 2s, and you guys recently got the event where I think you can farm 6-star tier 1s.
Yes, yeah, we got the first round of the first 5, 6 medals.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we had to farm our Nova from
from the quests.
2-star versions.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome. Yeah, the 6-star version was awesome.
So we did that from 2-star versions, raised it all the way up to 6, rolled it once, didn't work, rolled it again, and just keep on rolling.
I know that's I don't know. You know what? I do. I've always wondered this. How do you guys in the JP version handle the disappointment of rolling a medal over and over and never seeing it go up? Because it's got
Um,
to hurt if you if you use Mickey and Brooms like that too.
oh no, Mickey M rooms, we
You
only
save
use
them,
those on tier 4 and tier 5.
okay?
Never spend those on anything less. But uh, personally, I mean, it really depends on your pain tolerance, right? Like I think of it as being able to farm mirrors that only go toward a specific metal.
Right.
So if I hit that 25% on that tier 1, that's saving me some mirrors.
Yeah, and you know, I think, and this is just my personal opinion about this, but I think a lot of people see the JP version as like all sunshine and roses, you know? And sure, you log in, you create an account, and you get to do a couple pulls and you get these magnificent medals. But when it actually comes to the point of being competitive, it's just as cutthroat and difficult as ours, isn't it?
It is pretty cutthroat, and it does take up to, I think, quest 350
Uh huh.
to unlock guild. So that is a little bit more painful than in the NA version. And if you want to get to the heights of Coliseum, you're not going to be doing that for a while.
So okay, so basically the other thing I want to talk with you is, and I do want to talk about your method, the L method, which is the whole reason that I know a lot of people. Because to be perfectly honest, every single time a high score challenge comes out, I get so many people who either say, "Hey, use the L method," or even more people that say, "What's the L method?" So what I want to do is, if you can just explain it in your own words, and then like I've been talking with Lightkeeper, and what I want to do is actually, I might even want to connect you with other YouTubers that I know, if you want to work with them, and if you can show them. So in my channel, you guys are not going to see like Lightkeeper walk me through it. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go through my medals and walk me through it and everything. He's been giving me a lot of tips off screen and everything, and of course, I'm every single time I'm gonna credit him. I'm going to leave his links everywhere I can, but I want him to explain it to you guys, and then if you guys want to see it in action, you're gonna have to go to his channel. You're gonna have to go anywhere else. I think you did. You talk with Jade about it too. I think.
Yes, I talked with Jade about it
Yeah,
too,
I don't know.
and
Did she ever do a video on it?
um,
I know she
not
did a video
formally, no.
using it. I know she did a video using it, but just like with me, when I watched your videos, okay, I watched your videos about 20 times, and every single time I was like, huh? It was so confusing. And then I actually did it, and it was like, oh, because once you actually see the numbers, okay, so
Right.
this is what I did, and I know this is kind of, okay, here's my secrets. I recorded my own gameplay, and I replayed it for myself after on super slow to see how much each hit was hitting. That's
Oh
what
no,
I had to do.
that's totally right.
That's what I had to do because and I think we were talking earlier today, and I was saying how I so many times I had to run like the same thing 10 times, and every single time you get a slightly different number because sometimes you hit a critical, sometimes you don't. Sometimes something triggers, sometimes something doesn't, and
Right.
you when you find and I still don't understand it 100%, but when you find that little sweet spot that you finally get it, like when I watch you and you do it and you're like instantly you're like, oh wait, that didn't work, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean it didn't work? You hit really great, but that's not what it's about. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up now, and please, you've got the floor. Just if you can explain a little bit or whatever you want to say about your method, how you came up with it, or anything like that, please just go ahead.
So how many days is this stream live for?
Uh, actually, we've been live practically every single day for 11 months. So take your
Oh my
time, man.
gosh.
Go for it.
To go over the whole thing, I mean,
Well,
a
just
lot of
in
people.
general, like how did you come up with it?
Well, I came up with it. Well, actually, let's back up all the way to the beginning then. The high score challenge notices when they first came out, the notices are really different in the JP version than in the NA version. The JP version actually gives you little hints at the bottom on how to improve your bonus. And I think it's a kind of shady move that they took this out in NA. They just want you guys to think that, it's all about just stuffing those 21% medals
Have
just
you
full
seen our
hard.
bonuses, our hints? Have you seen the hints?
It's can they even be called hints?
They're not. It's the exact same copy pasted thing every single time. So here's the
Maybe
here's
it's
the
just the
3 tips to
propaganda.
maximize your scores. Use medals with high special attack damage multipliers. Plan your route by focusing on enemies you can defeat, and equip score bonus medals.
Right.
That's our three
Cool, cool,
tips.
and cool. And yeah, so the JP version, we get our hints. Our hints are a little bit better than that. They're not perfect, but we do have a little bit more to go off of, and it's just up to staring at these numbers long enough, because you see that every time you land a hit on an enemy, you get a number that pops up, and it keeps going ding, ding, ding. If you have an ability with multiple hits, and then there's that one number at the very, very end that comes up, and that's the number that we want to influence. So that's sort of like the official vocabulary for that is damage bonus,
Okay.
and that's sort of the grade for how the actions you took to get there. So the actions you took to kill that enemy, that's sort of your grade at the end. And if you did better, then the damage bonus is higher. And you want to do that consistently for the entire length of a high score challenge in order to get the best score with your deck. So this is why some people with the same percentage bonus will score better than others. It's not that everyone with the same percentage bonus gets the same score. The player and the piloting involved is what's going to make the difference between players who have the same percent. And in some cases, if you're really proficient, you're efficient enough, then you can actually punch above your weight class, hang with players who are bringing more percent than you, but maybe don't know how to pilot as well.
Okay.
So that's sort of the goal, what we're trying to do here, to understand the mechanics and then manipulating the damage bonus to see if we can be at the top ranks within the players with the same percent, or possibly go a little bit higher than that.
And how far is it possible to go with that? Like, can
You
you
can
make a
go,
huge
depending on your
difference?
medals. So the very first thing in the high score challenge is to pull up the bonus list to see what medals are on there. You'll want to try to identify which medals kind of stick out as having higher multipliers than the others. If you can do that, uh, then you'll be able to kind of work an advantage into your deck that way.
Okay. And then the other thing you were telling me about is, well, like you said, it's that very, very last number. The
Right.
number at the end where you see the little white, and then at the very end it's like a split second pause, and then you see one more number pop up, like a
That
plus
that's
something.
that's that's it.
That's the number, and that number, as you said, it's a bonus that's calculated off your strongest single hit,
Not
or
your strongest
how
single
much.
hit, but your strongest metal action. So the
Okay,
one
what does that
action
mean?
that you took with the metal. Metal action can be a tap, a swipe, or an ability.
Okay.
So Nova doesn't count. Nova doesn't
Okay, got you.
ignore Nova for all of this. So either you tap or you swipe or you use an ability on your metal.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the strongest action was, that's what you'll get your bonus from.
Okay.
So, for example, in this list, HD Riku stands out. I mean, in the JP version, we have him guilted and he goes up to 130%.
Mm-hmm.
So after he's killed about 10 enemies, his multiplier goes to something crazy like 11.5.
What?
And right, because his multiplier is about 4.72
Right.
unorbed.
Uh-huh.
But when you have him fully orbed, I think the top end of that range is 5.0 something.
Okay.
And then if you take into account the 130% guild off of that, it's like 11 and a half or something like
And
that.
then on top of that, you have to add your Keyblade bonus and whatever buffers you've done.
Right. And so this is what I've been abusing in the JP version to, hang with people with maybe one more 21% than I have.
It can make that much of a difference?
If the other player with that extra 21% didn't
Doesn't know
really
how
know
to
what
do
they
it.
were doing.
Which, honestly, I mean, I don't. I mean, it's... I mean, like you said, you watched my videos that are released earlier, with my strategy and what I was doing. And you said I was on the right track, but what was I missing? What didn't I do?
Well, so the very first thing is a lot of people can understand the concept of one MVP medal in your deck,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the medal that's going to be your workhorse, putting out the most damage, and you'll want to have all your other medals support that. So that's sort of what a lot of people have understood and latched onto. And the next step, once you've done that, is to work on preserving the enemy's HP. You'll need to kind of rewire yourself, your
Well,
thinking.
what do you mean
All this time,
preserve the enemy? Aren't we trying to kill
yes,
the enemy?
right. So this is where you have to reverse your thinking. Most times you want to kill the enemy, but in the case like High Score Challenge, you want the enemies to live until you're MVP. You want to save as much of their HP as possible so that your MVP can take it all.
Okay.
The MVP does not want to share the enemy's HP. So um, all the things that you're used to doing, that's most efficient. So for example, if you see a mob of 5 different enemies, you're used
Okay.
to swiping because that's efficient.
Yes.
You want to unlearn that, and you'll want to just maybe tap on one of them because that tap on that one enemy does less damage in terms of total absolute numbers, right? So this preserves more enemy HP for your MVP later on in your deck. And if your MVP is in slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, the later it is, it's a little bit harder to play. But the idea is that the MVP takes the most amount of HP off the enemies. And
Right.
it's important because you get cut off for bonus points
Oh.
for any hits that go past when they're already dead. So if your hits on a multi-hit ability stop generating numbers and orbs, then they're not doing anything for you.
So you want to try and calculate it to defeat them right with the big hitter.
So this Sykes that you
Yeah.
have on screen right now, 11 extremely powerful hits. course, in the early rooms of the high score challenge, he's not going to land all 11 hits.
Exactly.
So he's going to be cut off for credit towards bonus points before all his 11 hits land. That's not always a bad thing. I mean, it's okay as long as what you want to be careful about is to make sure that he gets enough hits in to make it better than just simply tapping. So if you consider a tap as 1x, as long as he gets in enough hits to be worth more than 1x,
right,
then it's worth it. So let's say right now let's see, the psych's on screen, 3.02
right,
multiplier. Let's say if you had him 100% guilted, right?
Okay.
That's about a 6x multiplier
right.
at 100%, dealing 11 hits. So his first hit is worth about, around 0.6, 0.5, between 0.5 and 0.6 worth
Got
of
you.
a multiplier. So that's actually worse than a tap if you kill something in one hit off his ability.
So it'd be better to tap the weaker enemies with him.
If they were to die within one hit only.
Amazing.
Now, if he gets in 2 out of 11 hits,
then it goes up to 1.2.
Then you start profiting.
Huh.
And the profit goes up more and more. You get more credit as you're able to land more hits on these
Right.
enemies. So this is why enemy HP is important. It's a resource that you want to conserve. You don't want to share that with your other medals that are just boosting your MVP. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so the last thing, the Halloween Goofy we've been talking about. So I haven't even touched my Halloween Goofy, but my Halloween Goofy has a 2.39 multiplier. He deals 3 hits. He's at 99% guilted. So, and he does the interesting thing about him is that even though he's only a 2.39 multiplier, he does the lower defense of all attributes of all targets by 1 tier for 1 attack. So that's where it changes the game, right?
Yes, and I don't have the numbers for it, unfortunately.
That's fine.
So this is where we have to go back to staring at the damage bonus number. But it will make a difference when you have that debuff. So he, at 2.39, if you threw one more mirror onto him, he would be, what is that, 4.78?
Yeah.
4.78, and then a little bit higher than that if you take into account the debuff.
Got you. Yeah, because debuff... do you guys know exactly how much the debuffs are? Because we've calculated they're about between 0.19 to 0.22 for the attribute ones.
Yeah, it's around there.
Yeah, there's like no exact science about it.
Yeah, I wish they would just be more transparent.
Release that information. Yes,
just give it to us.
Yeah, it could make a big difference. We would be able to know what we're going into with,
Right. So without that information, though, our only way is really to just keep looking at the damage bonus number. See what's better between this if you're comparing him against another medal.
Right.
But because he is only 3 hits, though, you will be able to activate him more often without worrying about being worse than a tap. Right? Because he's... even if you don't take into account the debuff, he's already, 4.78. So his first hit is already going to be better than a tap always.
Interesting. Okay, so then the last thing I'd have to ask then is, I know that, see, and this is the thing, I know a lot of people right now are probably just like scratching their heads because, okay, if you turn your attention away for 1 second, you're going to lose this. You're going to lose where the train of thought goes. But affecting that, what did you call it again? The multiply, the bonus score, whatever?
Damage bonus.
Damage bonus. Okay, affecting the damage bonus. That damage bonus can be in the tens, even 100,000 points, right?
Oh yes.
And that's where it comes into play, because I remember when Jade first told me about this, I tried it in that high score challenge with BC Mickey. And I remember looking at that, I just did the whole thing just looking for that last number. And I did it with the setup I had been already running, and I would see, 3,000, 8,000 for the last bonus. And then using BC Mickey, I started seeing 80,000, 120,000. It was just, it was, it was an unreal change. But I lost myself in, like you said, I didn't preserve the health. You know, I didn't keep them alive. I wanted to just get rid of them fast because I was afraid they'd kill me. You know what I mean?
Right, and so it's a balance between if your metals are strong enough to one-turn things,
Okay.
and if you need to bring in some survivability, you need some defense boosts to survive, maybe, or you need to raise your defense. You guys have
Oh
some
yeah, we do.
soul
Yeah, we have several stuff already.
and right. So if you can't one-turn them, then you'll need to look into doing that. But the case with BC Mickey and on the last high score challenge or
Mm-hmm.
Maleficent high score challenge, a
Yes.
lot of people were using Marley B. Those are really nice for high score challenges because they only deal one hit. So that's a luxury that we don't always have is
That
metals
one
that just,
powerful hit.
yeah, that one powerful hit because you don't need to do any math. You don't need to divide to figure out if something's going to profit or not. It's always going to get that full credit in because it is that one hit only.
Interesting. All right. So I'm going to leave it there before we confuse more people. But for me, like I said, listening, hearing you say it and hearing you repeat it over and over again, it kind of, it clicks, but you still need to do it in person. And I know, I'm sure you're frustrated too at a certain point when you're like, I know you've explained this a lot of times already. But it really is a matter of trying it out and watching your videos. And I know that at the point where we are in our game right now, we're far enough where we understand a lot of the medals you guys have because we're starting to see them too. You know, we don't have them all. But the one thing I have noticed watching your videos is that a lot of times you on purpose build your Keyblades to look really bad.
Yes, the uglier they look, the more points you
Yes,
get.
that's what you told me before too. It's so interesting because I remember seeing you were on purpose putting buffers where they wouldn't hit, where they would hit just one or you know, and for me it was kind of like, wait, why are you doing that? Why are you putting it somewhere it wasn't? And then I'd see your score after and I'm like, how did you do that? You know, it's so there's a lot of different stages of that. And I know you have, what is it, L's Lab? Is that what your series is called
Oh,
on
I've,
YouTube?
I've, I've been neglecting that. I
Yeah,
need
I know.
to post more videos there.
I've been watching those actually, and those are for the for the Proud Quest. But when you actually do it step by step, it makes a lot more sense. And I don't know, you don't have a global version anymore, do you? Of the game?
I don't have the global version now.
So let me see if I can't, like I said, I know a couple other YouTubers that if you want to work with them, maybe you could help them step by step with their medals. I don't know. Have you heard of Attorney of Light?
Oh yes, I have.
I mean,
Have
no,
you
maybe. Let me see if I can't. I've been trying to get a hold of her today and I haven't been able to. But Eternia and Jade as well, and a couple other people who I know would not only benefit from having this, but and like I said, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to credit you, but I want people to see other levels of the game. People are used to my level of the game, what I have. And a lot of people are pretty upset because I do have a lot of medals which I don't use right. Like Halloween Goofy. I haven't touched him since I guilted him. And now I'm
excited
realizing
for what he might be able to do.
yeah, now I'm realizing I really should. And the last thing I want to ask is, should I test him out before I start putting skills and chips on him? Just to see kind
Yes,
of what he could do?
Right. So you guys don't have the farmable Chip and Dales
Not yet, no.
in your So I think because they're so limited, and it is a one-way street, you can't take them back. You have to be careful about committing those resources to something that you may or may not use later. So right now, I think you were between this Halloween Goofy and the Sykes that you were.
Yeah, we're
using
going to,
already.
and
So
the only difference was because of my, oh, and you know what, guys? I was talking today with Lightkeeper, and he recommended me that it's okay for me not to use my gems yet. He said if I have all my Keyblades at 25 to wait. So I feel.
Forget you have them.
Thank you. Thank you. Every single day, all that people say is, when are you going to level up your Keyblades? When are you going to level up your Keyblades? So thank you. I appreciate for that. But and we'll talk about it. But anyway, on my Treasure Trove 25, I've got a 2.4 reverse multiplier for Zykes.
Okay.
And then on Olympia, it's a 2.7 multiplier on the fourth slot.
Right.
So that's where we're going to see the balance between the Goofy and the Zykes, right?
Right. So the Zykes has a higher multiplier, but he is in a lower slot. And
which is very good for
Goofy
this.
with the lower multiplier, but in a higher slot, but with a debuff. So it gets kind of fuzzy when you're comparing these things, and you have to kind of run them both ways, side by side, to see what will do better.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to keep doing it, and we can keep talking to off stream and everything too. I'm going to leave it there for this one. I really wanted to have you here. I wanted people to hear your voice, to talk to you, and like I said, the one thing that it doesn't surprise me. It just, I'm in awe at the fact that you know so much about the global version and you don't even play it anymore. Because
Well,
you do.
There are a lot of people who still play, and I keep in touch with people, and
yeah, seeing how you're playing it and seeing how you're doing it, I'm like, you understand the game better than I do, and you're not even playing it, which is incredible. But yeah, thank you very much, man, for being here with me. Anything else you'd like to say to everyone?
Well, please keep an eye out on this channel, because I'm going to be working with the UJ too. We're going to try to improve the score. We're going to at least break 30 million, right?
Yes, definitely. We're going to do that. And we're going to try and do it with what I currently have, which is kind of interesting. You said that. You told me that before. We can do it with what you're already using. And I was like, wait, how am I going to get a better score with what I'm already using?
Because you already have that video up, we can do it.
See, there you go. All right. Thank you very much for watching, guys. As always, I am DUJ2. We've also had Lightkeeper today. Thank you very much, guys. And we'll see you guys next one. See ya.
Take care.